Greetings to all of you. This is Erabon. We are delighted tonight to discuss with you this new adventure, this new beginning of channeling sessions that will be done through this new channel. Many of you may be open to this, many of you may not. New individuals will be drawn along the way, and of course the depth, the quality, the clarity of the information that we bring to you will increase, although we do find that the conditions are excellent for a number of reasons, as is. This channel already has some experience, and also the conditions are right for reasons from the more distant past. And whatever the case, this is effective as it is, and will only be more so as time goes on. We would like to bring to your attention the 75% rule, as we choose to call it, at least this evening. 75% is approximately a rough estimate of the accuracy, best case accuracy of this type of channeling process. This is a conscious channeling. It is constantly evolving. This is a conscious channeling process, as opposed to other types that involve deeper states of mental relaxation and even virtually complete, if not complete, departure of the conscious mind for the deep trance states. And those types of channeling are different and have different rules and different strengths and weaknesses, if you will. But this type, the type you see here before you now, has, at best, with the most experienced and clearest of channels, on the best day when the conditions are the best, for all reasons involved, you should anticipate approximately a 75%, maybe perhaps at most 80% accuracy of fidelity, of pure, unbiased, clear transfer of information from point A to B, if you will, from our end to your end. And this is important to remember, important to keep in mind, and even this entity here views this almost as more important as a exercise to begin with, as a developmental thing, in the realization that the quality and conditions will improve over time. But nevertheless, rest assured, we are communicating to you now. This channel has proven quite effective and useful, and this is going to be a wonderful occurrence for all involved and continue to unfold and evolve over time. So, the primary question that is guiding us tonight is this reason for beginning, this reason for choosing this channel and this show, if you will, on the internet, on YouTube, for bringing this information from Erabon. And we, of course, see from our end that it is no great coincidence. In fact, much more order and system or systematic structure is at work in this process of this happy marriage, if you will, of human channel opening up at the time it is done, and the exact entities on our end that are contacted and settled upon as the ones at this time, at least, to begin channeling. And so we just would like to assure you this is fortuitous. We view it as a fortuitous thing that it is happening here now through this entity at this place on this particular channel on YouTube with this particular group of entities or followers that have settled upon it at this time over the last several years since it has begun. So rest assured, there are no accidents, and feel encouraged to pay attention and listen and see what you think, make your judgments, and if you find this valuable and useful, very well, and of course, if not, then definitely not. We're definitely not exhorting anyone to believe this or that. This is 100% not what this is about. We are about bringing a message, communicating ideas, hope, an elevated vibration, and perhaps as much as possible useful information to help guide, more inspire than to dictate or control or dominate or dominate the thinking of individuals. Definitely our intent is instead of doing that, to rather just encourage, guide, be a positive, suggestive, useful influence, resource to be used as the individuals feel led or see fit. So with that, we would simply like to point out that some of the reasons this particular channel has been chosen are the fact that the entity is involved in exploring the existence of various types of channels, particularly to begin with, and at the core, the greatest interest being the deep trance channels, the masters, if you will, such as Edgar Casey or perhaps Andrew Jackson Davis, and definitely Paul Solomon, Douglas Cottrell, and others, these that have demonstrated the deep trance channeling ability, different from what you see before you now. But this is important. It is important that this individual has been seeking out information, has been guided by questions of who are these channels? Are there more out there? Are there others? What are they like? What is the harmony of their message? And that's the great point we would like to drive home to you this evening, is that the unique aspect, the uniqueness and unique value of this particular channel among the myriad others cropping up, and more will of course arise at this time. But the unique property here is the focus has been a broad as possible or comprehensive search, seeking for information for these other types of channels, conscious trance channels, deep trance channels, the various types, but an open-minded sweep. And so this allows us a more unbiased opportunity, since that 75% rule applies. A large part of that is the mindset of the individual. And naturally, if an individual is the primary channel and that is the focus of their life and their attention as being that, then you see how this dominates the perspective. And if instead their focus is open exploration, this enables us to talk about that, to address that topic, the comparison of different channels of information, the types of entities communicating through them, the harmony or seeming disharmony based almost entirely upon differences of perspective and differences of the echelon or status occupied in a hierarchy of all celestial beings, or all types of beings, that the entities communicating through the channel, those entities at different echelons will have different perspectives, just simply depending upon where they are located. And obviously, the age-old analogy, of course, applies of the individual standing behind the hill or on top of the hill or in a valley or whatever, them having different perspectives as to the world, even their immediate surroundings around them, and that's simply being a natural result of where they're located, their point of view. And so we would like to point out, since the point of view of this particular entity, this particular channel, Nason Schooler, has been an exploration as even-keeled as possible, given the limits of his understanding and particularly limits of exposure to what is out there, but given that as much as possible to be even and unbiased and searching for and seeking out and just assessing, being accepting and simply absorbing what there is to absorb of the quality of these various types of channels, and to compare and contrast, not for the sake of condemning or judging any particular ones, but for the sake of gaining insight and a larger picture, if you will, using the benefit of having these various points of view to assemble them and get a much larger point of view. So, as the channel Douglas Cottrell said in a reading, and seeing the sphere from all sides at once instead of seeing a disc or a circle or something, this is made possible by utilizing these various perspectives. And since that has been the focus of this individual, that enables us to give certain types of information, certain types of readings, if you will, that would be not as easily facilitated, but given more perhaps conventional types of channels with conventional backgrounds, realizing, of course, that every single one of them comes from their own unique individual background. But nevertheless, this has been the background of this particular channel. This particular channel definitely did not seek this, especially at so early on, relatively speaking, in the process, did not seek out as a first course this process. In fact, was very reluctant to do so, and it is for this very reason that we're delighted to bring to you finally this evening the beginning of this series of addresses of a new type, since they are actually channeled information from us, whom we call ourselves Erabon. Erabon being the name given to this channel as our name, as a part of the process of seeking for the purposes of connection, realizing that names, as you understand them and as they translate to our dimension, are meaningful as an energetic signature, and as the energy of the combination of letters and sounds and appearance is meaningful to the individual acting as the channel, and for various other reasons which are difficult or impossible for us to communicate at this time, we cannot help but add as an aside, no, this is not a cop-out. This is simply yet another one of these, part of that other 25%, if you will, that is inaccessible, especially at this time, for this entity, simply because this has been point of concern, if you will, or difficult question as to the sudden appearance of this literal information. One of the reasons this entity has been so reluctant to act as a channel is the great concern for not manufacturing or fabricating literal information, and the hardest part for this entity to accept has been that factual data, yes or no type answers, black or white, can indeed be communicated. He's simply been reticent to do so, and that is very, very natural for those setting out as channels. As definitely that, in essence, that's where the rubber meets the road, if you will. That's the proof in the pudding is really the transmission of information that was not known to the entity involved, and definitely not to the seekers asking the questions. So realizing there will be the typical difficulties or impossibilities, if you will, inherent in the process of conscious trance channeling. Nevertheless, we encourage you to, if you feel so guided, to stay tuned, so to speak, and listen to these addresses as they come out, and we greatly understand that a growing number of you will increasingly be edified, if you will, by the message. Perhaps not necessarily on an immediately factual level, for also realize that a large part, if not the larger part, of what is going on here in this process right now of you watching us communicate through this channel is the vibration. So much of existence, as many of you may already understand, as this channel is beginning to understand, so much of this, the value in existence and this process is one of vibration. And yes, there's information communicated on the factual level, but also, of course, there's information on emotional, psychological, even spiritual and more elevated levels, if you will, that is just as important, just as valuable, and goes hand in hand, indeed, with the questions and the answers and the process. But as many of you as there are tuning in across space and time to this message as time rolls on, there will be that many unique, beneficial applications of this event and all of subsequent events of channeling given through this and all other sources. So rest assured that as you feel led, it is valuable, and be encouraged, for we are greatly encouraged, and look forward to sharing many deep and wonderful and new, unique insights with you. With that, we are through for now, except to add at the end that these are times of great change of one form and another. Not so great, perhaps, immediately or within the foreseeable future in specific areas, as some people might be led to believe, and some of those areas perhaps so. But more importantly, getting back to the vibration, vibrationally for you, for a people, as a planet, the last period of time, for instance, 50 years or 100, especially like 50 years, has been a great period of change in vibration, in the vibe, if you will, the energy of the entire planet, the people, the system, how it all works together. And if 2012 has any meaning at all, it is this, that it is the crux, the fulcrum, the turning point in vibration, where the scales tip in the balance the other way, and humankind in this place takes a meaningful step. Minuscule, baby step, but still meaningful step forward in the new direction. The dawning of the new age, in many ways, begins this year, begins now, at this time, in this season, with events just like this one, the dawning of a new age. If it ever had meaning to you in this generation, it has meaning now. And that meaning will unfold and grow and become clearer and clearer in the near future. So until next time, which will not be long, we thank you, and if you will, we bless you. If that has meaning to you, just understand it confers a vibration of uplifting energy. We send to all you who wish it, to all you who listen. And your questions are received and will be answered in due time, especially as you manifest them clearly to this channel. So he knows what they are, and we are therefore free to express ourselves based upon them. So until next time, we wish you all well, and have a good night.